What if I told you that a golden age is coming in 2032, just 7 years after making this video? We could be living in a golden age. That means the end of war. That means peace inside and on planet Earth. If you're interested in that, then watch this video. Hi, I'm Mark T.J Keane. I'm a full-time professional wizard, and I'm the creator of sleepingserpent.com, and I make a plethora of online courses, and I teach one-to-one. And right now in this video, we're talking about the golden age. Now, if you don't know, there are cycles of time known throughout history as the yugas or the aeons. India has the best record of this. In the Vedas, it talks about the yuga cycles. But these ages are impossibly long. But then along came Yogananda and said that he'd been taught by the teachings of Babaji that actually, following the precession of the equinoxes, the earth wobbles in this axis around 24 to 26,000 years. We have these cycles. It also corresponds to the changing of the 12 signs of the zodiac, right? This kind of wobble. But there's two ways of calculating it. One is the wobble, and one is our relationship with our binary star system of Sirius. So whether you take it to 24,000 or closer to 26,000 years. But we're going to take it to be 24,000 years. So actually, in that time, it goes through 4 stages of the Dark Age. That's what we've just been in. The Bronze Age, the Silver Age, and the Golden Age. Okay. They're known as Kali Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga. Okay. And in that 24,000 year time, that great age known as the Yuga cycle, right? We have the rising and the falling of all 4 of those times. So you have 8 periods of the rising through the 4 cycles, from the Dark Age to the Golden Age, and the falling. Okay, and it's a continuous cycle. Everything is a cycle, okay, in life. Okay, one day is a cycle, right? The earth spins on its axis. Every month is a lunar cycle. Okay, that's what we should be following. We are the first people in history to not follow the 12 or 13 moon calendar, like not to be saying a month is a moon. You know, we still have the phrase in our English language, or many moons ago. You know, everything is a cycle. So the Kali Yuga, in this calculation from Yogananda, who was a great mystic who came to the West following the teachings of Babaji, who is basically a completely enlightened ascended master who has transcended physical existence and is said to live thousands of years and just pop in and out of existence. Anyway, let's leave that aside for a second. Yogananda, he's very, very well known. He wrote the autobiography of a yogi. I've got it on the shelf somewhere. He said that we're coming out of this time of the Kali Yuga, and then there's a great transition. And this transition period of about 300 years is what we've been going through. And he predicted the world wars and so on. And then the digital age is part of this movement into the Dvapara Yuga. Okay. And this goes on for 3,000 years. So basically, you've got a long time until you get to the golden age. You've got 3,000 years of Dvapara Yuga, which we're just beginning now. 3,000 years of Treta Yuga, right, the third age, and only then do we get to the flipping golden age. It's like, oh my goddess, that's a long time to wait to get to a time when we have peace on earth, because it's only during the Satya Yuga, the golden age, that we actually have an end to war. However, what has been recently shared is that within this, there are cycles within cycles. There are always cycles within cycles, okay? Little ages. And there's a little mini golden age that we're going to move into in 2032. That will mean, hopefully, I pray, a lot more peace, if not peace on planet Earth. And that comes from people like me and people like you meditating, doing the work, doing the yoga, right? Doing the alchemy, doing what it needs to take to put our mind into balance, right? To allow our emotions to begin to flow freely again, to feel free, to come into our sovereignty and come into divine alignment with our authentic self, which I call our unique soul vibration. And that is how we achieve inner peace. And when enough of us achieve this inner peace, then outer peace is the result for a time, this mini golden age. And that's how it's achieved. So you and I, right here, right now in this very moment, which is eternal because all time is happening now, we have an opportunity to take a breath, hold on to that breath, feel into our body and mind a sense of calm, peace and tranquility, and exhale all that is not of that frequency, and just be present and still the mind and think, hey, I'm in a golden age right now. Whenever we do that, we create our own golden age, and we are a forerunner, right? We are a way shower to this way forward into the golden age over the next 7 years. Okay, so it's going from 8 into 7 years at the time of making this video. Okay, so that's fantastic. So it's the yellow brick road, the golden roads, the golden age, the Satya Yuga, the mini Satya Yuga is happening when we take a breath, take a pause between events and just relax our body, forget about the world outside and just take responsibility to create, cultivate, nourish, grow, amplify, and then eventually fully embody inner peace. And when enough of us do that, it causes a critical mass, okay? And through the morphogenic resonance throughout the 100th monkey effect, throughout the whole world, only a small percentage can affect the masses, because when you raise the frequency of a certain amount of people, it ripples out and eventually we shall have, according to this prophecy, peace on earth and a high frequency, and we will start moving into a utopia where we start to feel more free, we start to take more responsibility, we start hopefully moving away from hierarchy and all of these societies which have been keeping us down, and we start just saying, hey, you can't control me anymore. I've got access to enough information that I don't have to listen to you if it doesn't feel right. I take responsibility for my life. I choose freedom. I choose peace. I choose love. I choose an illuminated path. And that creates the golden age. That's how we're going to do it. That's the prophecy. That's what I wanted to share with you. That is my passion. So right now in this moment, you know, just by meditating, taking a moment and saying, I am still, right? Be still and know that I am God. Each of us is a divine spark of the creation. And just recognize that you are that light. I am that light. You know, we are that light. Together we illuminate and send out the ripples to our brothers and sisters across the world. You know, we are one, you know, and we take responsibility for that oneness throughout the whole world. And this is how we co-create the new earth, right? We come into community, we come together, we meditate, we do the work, the shadow work, where we illuminate all of our doubts, all of our fears, all of our anxieties. And we say, the past is the past. Right now in this moment, I choose love, right? And our soul outside of time and space, because it's eternal and therefore timeless, right, is abiding in this eternal love right here, right now, as it always have done and always will. And that's the truth of who you really are. And it's the truth of who I really am. And it's the truth of who we all really are. We are all immortal souls having this temporary human experience where we choose to come down here to planet Earth, incarnate, forget all of that in order to have this experience of being human and in the physical, where we can really kind of enjoy this game of Leela and play with reality in the third dimension until it's all over. And in that time, the game is to remember and wake up to who we always have been, because it's kind of fun. And it gives us a contrast when we go back to the other side, to our home, right, in heaven, that we can really appreciate and be grateful and understand and embody on a deep soul level the extraordinary nature of reality, which is the truth in heaven and in the spiritual domain in general, which goes beyond even heaven all the way back to the source of all creation. So That's the good news. That's what I want to spread. I just want to put that out there. Let's make it happen. Let's meditate. Let's do the yoga. Let's do the alchemy. Let's do the work. You know, I've got many courses that can help you do that. And thanks very much for watching this video. Like and subscribe. See you in the next one, my friends.